Politics of Eritrea takes place in a framework of a single-party presidential republican totalitarian dictatorship. The president officially serves as both head of state and head of government. The People's Front for Democracy and Justice is the only political party legally permitted to exist in Eritrea. The popularly elected National Assembly of 150 seats, formed in 1993 shortly after independence from Ethiopia, elected the current president, Isaias Afwerki. There have been no general elections since its official independence in 1993. The country is governed under the Constitution of 1993. A new constitution was ratified in 1997, but has not been implemented. Since the National Assembly last met in 2002, President Isaias Afwerki has exercised the powers of both the executive and legislative branches of government, following a successful referendum on independence for the autonomous region of Eritrea between 23 and the 25th of April 1993. On the 19th of May of that year, the Provisional Government of Eritrea issued a proclamation regarding the reorganization of the government. It declared that during a 4-year transition period, and sooner if possible, it would draft and ratify a constitution, prepare a law on political parties, prepare a press law, and carry out elections for a constitutional government. In March 1994, the PGE created a constitutional commission charged with drafting a constitution flexible enough to meet the current needs of a population suffering from 30 years of civil war as well as those of the future, when stability and prosperity change the political landscape. Commission members have traveled throughout the country and to Eritrean communities abroad holding meetings to explain constitutional options to the people and to solicit their input. A new constitution was promulgated in 1997 but has not yet been implemented, and general elections have been postponed. A National Assembly, composed entirely of the PFDJ and its allies, was established as a transitional legislature. Elections have been postponed indefinitely since a border war with Ethiopia. Independent local sources of political information on Eritrean domestic politics are scarce. In September 2001, the government closed down all of the nation's privately owned print media, and outspoken critics of the government have been arrested and held without trial. According to domestic and international observers, including Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, in 2004, the U.S. State Department declared Eritrea a country of particular concern for its alleged record of religious persecution. At independence, the government faced formidable challenges, beginning with a nascent judicial system and an education system in shambles. It has attempted to build the institutions of government from scratch, with varying success. Since then, the impact of the border war with Ethiopia and continued army mobilization has contributed to the lack of a skilled workforce. The present government includes legislative, executive, and judicial bodies. The president nominates individuals to head the various ministries, authorities, commissions, and offices, and the National Assembly ratifies those nominations. The cabinet is the country's executive branch. It is composed of 18 ministries and chaired by the president. It implements policies, regulations, and laws and is, in theory, accountable to the National Assembly. The ministries are the legislature. The National Assembly, appointed in 1993, includes 75 members of the People's Front for Democracy and Justice and 75 additional, popularly elected members. Those elected by the general population must include 11 women and representation of 15 Eritreans not currently living in the state. The National Assembly is the highest legal power in the government until the establishment of a democratic, constitutional government. Within the Eritrean constitution, the legislature would remain the strongest arm of the government. The legislature sets the internal and external policies of the government, regulates the implementation of those policies, approves the budget, and elects the president of the country. Its membership has not been renewed through national elections, and its latest session was in 2002. Lower regional assemblies are also in each of Eritrea's 6 zones. These assemblies are responsible for setting a local agenda in the case that they are not overruled. by the National Assembly. These regional assemblies are popularly elected within each region. Unlike the National Assembly, however, the regional administrator is not selected by the Regional Assembly. Eritrea is a single-party state run by the People's Front for Democracy and Justice. No other political groups are legally allowed to organize. The PFDJ's most recent party congress was held in 2002. And its members have not met since. Legislative elections were set for 1997 and then postponed until 2001. It was then decided that because 20% of Eritrea's land,